Hola amigos, ¿cómo están?
Hello, guys. Welcome
Hello.
back. Today, I have a question from someone on Reddit. Let's see.
Go ahead.
Okay. My parents are spending my inheritance. What can I do about it?
Nothing.
Let's see. I have a son who is incredibly worried about this. It has caused a huge rift between us. 12 years ago, we bought a small condo in the mountains in addition to our home. He told our daughter how incredibly selfish we were to buy said condo, since we were spending their inheritance. My daughter said, "So what? It's their money to spend, not yours." He was pleased when we downsized to said condo. He asked me where his share of the profit of our sale of the house was. Our house, that he never paid a dime in rent, even at the ripe age of 27. When my husband unexpectedly passed away, he came down with his wife. His words were, "How much did daddy leave me?" I looked at him like he was an alien with three heads. I said, "Nothing. I'm the sole heir." "I have to wait for you to die to get money?" he said. I said, "At this rate, when I die, you won't get a penny. Leave me alone," as I rolled over to cry and wished my husband was still alive to witness what a brat he grew up to be. The audacity of the son.
How much you're leaving to?
To such kid,
Yeah.
I will donate everything.
No, I'll spend it all.
Well, if I have anything left, I will donate everything to a shelter and leave that dumbass, or maybe leave everything to a sister and say on a clause, "You cannot give anything to this asshole."
I think it's okay to, and I think it's depending on your capacity of helping. I think you should help your kids while you still alive and while they have a in certain moments in their lives, if you can do, I think you, you could try to do. Like, for example, maybe helping them with the down payment for their first home, right? Or maybe help them to start a business. Uh,
Yeah,
because
but this.
what happens a lot is, like, especially when the parents are a little bit wealthier, the kids wait for the parents to die to and started making these plans, like, oh, when my dad die and my mom die, I'm gonna inherit like a couple $1 million, and I'm gonna buy a house, or gonna do this trip, or gonna do whatever, right? And a lot of times what happen is the kids go throughout their
Just
lives.
waiting.
uh,
Just waiting.
No, not just waiting, but sometimes they struggle, right? Sometimes they're struggling because economy, it's completely different than 30, 40 years ago. And for some reason, they're not doing that well as their parents are doing. Um, so I think it's valid, if you can, to go and give some help in certain pivot moments in their lives that can make a difference. Like, oh, they just got married and they might be struggling a little bit to put as a down payment for the first home. Okay, if you have $2 million in the bank and you can help with $50,000, $100,000 as a down payment, it's much better to do at that time than to just wait for get too old and like at 65, 70, and start doing your will. And the kids are already not kids, they struggle at age 50, and they're like waiting for you to die to get to do something with their lives, right? So if you can help in pivot moments, I think is valid. You don't have to do everything for them. It's a different story. It's not that you're fixing the problem, you're helping with the problem.
But my issue, that's totally fine. I think, like, yes, if you can, you help because it's your children, right? Your kids. But the way that he He didn't ask, he demanded.
Oh, but I'm not talking about that person in particular.
Oh,
That person in particular is a spoiled brat, and then you shouldn't be counting with your parents' money for anything once you're an adult, right? Once you
if it
get out of
comes,
the
it's great.
house, it's their money. If they want to spend everything and not give you anything, it's up to them. It's not up to you. It's not up to the kids to be like, oh, where is my money? No, it's not your money. It's your money if I die and I leave you anything, right? But switching the sides, I do think if you can help here and there
Oh, yeah.
throughout their lives, I think it's much better and much more beneficial in their whole scheme of things, and in the whole trajectory of their lives, if they can get a help here and there,
Here and there.
instead of being like struggling to uh, oh, I have to be living in this small one bedroom with my two kids because I cannot afford, while my parents are living
Saving.
in a six-bedroom home in the suburbs by themselves, and with this bunch of cash in the bank, traveling around and not give us a help, because that's the case with a lot of boomers, that they don't want helping their kids at all. So a lot of them are just like, okay, I'm gonna live my life. When I die,
So
they
let me ask you something. Do you think, because you just gave that example, do you think like a parent, right? Let's say a boomer has, they work their life, they have money saved. Usually they're a little more well off than the newer generations. They're traveling,
hmm
but they have set expenses. And yeah, they're wealthy in a way, but they don't have, they're not millionaires. They do have disposable income, but they use it to travel. Do you think they should sacrifice that and help their kids?
like I said, they
If
help if they can.
if they can. Okay.
If they cannot,
I
no.
mean, they could, but they would have to kind of sacrifice their traveling. That's what I'm asking.
It's how much of a sacrifice will be. That's the question. Because, for example, if they're sacrificing one trip in a year to help their daughter, their son, to, you know, to put their kids to college, or to buy a new car because their car is broken, or to put as a down payment on a house. I don't think I think it depends on the parents, right? It depends on your
The
relationship
relationship, yeah.
with your kid. If you have a good relationship with them and you see that they make the effort, they went to school, or they went, they study to have a career or something. They're not just sleeping in the house all day long and doing nothing. I think it might be valid for them, but it's also their parents' prerogative to decide, I want to sacrifice this trip and use the money to help my son or my daughter to do something. But that shouldn't be an obligation. Once they're out of the house, they become an adult, it's their lives. They need to figure out on their own how to pay for the bills. But if they can, I think they should, while they're alive and while these pivot moments in their lives is happen, instead of just waiting until they die to get to leave them something.
True, yeah. Yeah, because imagine they're waiting and waiting and like nowadays, like it was much easier for someone that is a boomer to buy their first house than someone who's a millennial or a, what is it, Gen Z, to buy their first house. So sometimes they need a little help, and if they're able to,
Yeah, and I know I have few friends that they help their kids to in these moments. Like we know people that bought the first home for the kid. We know people. that put the kids through the college. They pay for everything, and they help them to get their first place to live, and if they can help, but they have a good relationship with the son. And also it's the sort of money that they are not giving up a lot to do that. I think in the other way too, uh, it's valid in the case, for example, if the parents are struggling and the sons are not. The son should help the parents because the parents
Raise them.
raised them. And the other way around, it's valid too. It all depends on the relationship, and all depends on uh, how uh, how much money it's available to do. But I don't think it's uh, anybody should be counting with their parents' money to do anything. It's a blessing. It's a gift. It's not uh, an entitlement.
Yeah, because that's my problem with your story here. Is
It's an entitlement.
the
The guy thinks
entitlement's
it's
crazy.
yeah, he's entitled to the family money and whatever, you know.
That reminds me, I have my great aunt when she was alive. She had a lot of jewelry, like real rubies and stuff. And my cousin, when she was very little, probably like 8, she's like, "Grandma, when are you dying? Because I want my ring." And he's like, "Well, for a long time." And it's true, she had to wait like 30 years. No, not 30. Yeah, 20 something years.
Yeah, so you shouldn't be counting with them.
Yeah,
So yeah, guys, tell us sort of what you think, and would you help your kids?
I think most people would, right?
Yeah,
Hopefully,
yeah, I think if you can, yeah, sure,
if
why
you
not?
if you have a good relationship with your
Yeah,
parents,
but if your kid is just like a pain in the ass
like
that
this
doesn't
one.
that's entitled and they don't help, and no, then
I'm petty. If that was my child, I would like, oh, just wait, and I'll leave everything to the sister, and then put a clause like you cannot give anything to your brother.
tampoco.
Yes, but you see how he sounds? He sounds horrible.
No, but let him wait. Let him wait until I die, if there's anything left.
Yeah. No, I think like yeah, if there's anything left.
Yeah.
But
All
not
right, guys.
entitlement.
Thanks
All
for
right, guys. Thank
watching,
you.
and let us know what you think. Bye.